My name is Toby Pawlaczyk, and this is my first Grand National that I was able to rescue from a guy in southern Indiana. Got a hold of this car about, I'd say 6 months ago, and started working on this car. So quite a long story about the car and some of the things that me and a couple friends and business associates across the United States and North Carolina have put forth some of our employment resources to bring back some of the parts that are desperately needed in order to keep the cars alive. And that's kind of what my part of this movie is going to be about, is showing you how desperately in need some of the work that needs to be done to these cars. It all started about 3 years ago. I was given a G-body. It was actually a Cutlass Supreme at the time that I still own. It was given to me by my grandmother-in-law, and you know, she wanted me to sell it, and I tried purposely not to sell it. And to make a long story short, I couldn't find any parts for it, so with my employment resources we just decided that with a team of people that we would just make all kinds of parts for it, because we really truly believe that these are going to be sought after cars. This is actually a 1984 Grand National hot air engine, and we're going to be doing some work on it. I only paid a little over $500 for the car. It didn't come with a turbo engine. It came actually with an Oldsmobile Rocket 350 and a turbo hydromatic 350. So we took that all out and we got the right components for it. Put the motor back to what it needed to be, with just a few touches of performance here and there, but for the most part I want to bring this car back to where it was meant to be, to a restored shape. And as you can see, there's a lot of rot on it, a lot of help that it needs, but there's a lot of parts that are coming available. For example, like this trunk that we have back here that was never available before, that we're able to actually get parts made and get them in the hands of a lot of people out there that are desperately needing them, so that we can continue on the love of the car and to keep the car alive. The last Grand National movie was all about the heritage of the Grand National and what it was about and why it was created. All the engineers that had a hand, and Richard Clark with his story and his great story about getting beat with his Ferrari. This is the next step for the cars. Bringing it back to life. So stay tuned. I'm going to be working on this car throughout a lot of the footage that I'm going to show. We're going to be ripping apart the top of the TTOP header panel here. All this stuff right here has been tore out. As you can see, it's in really, really bad shape. I've seen worse, but this one needs some help. And here's one of our reproduction pieces that's been brought out. This is actually the new replacement panel that will go in this spot up here. Some of the first things that I really had to do in order to get some of this work done is take out a lot of this weld here. Get the windshield out, of course, with a knife. Take out all the seals, and there's just endless amounts of rust. And it's just amazing the amount of I guess, what would you call it, destruction that happens just because of water. And the steel wasn't necessarily of a good quality that they used back in the 80s, so I've been told. It's pretty much what I understand. And it basically just wreaked havoc on most of the car. This is my third car that I've done an extensive remodel on. I've done a 442, done an 81, cut the Supreme, and then this is my Grand National project. That way I can have some rare cars, the cars that I grew up with. I guess that's the whole point of this whole thing, is that these are the cars that we grew up with. I'm 38 years old, and these are the cars that I remember. These are the cars that I had when I was in high school. What I'm doing is piloting each of these spot welds, so I can take a cutter right behind and lift what's remaining of this older T-top header panel section and get rid of it. Brace the whole inside of this car with thinking that once I remove this T-top header panel that I might have to replace the whole inner structure just in case. So in order to make that happen, I really put a lot of bracing onto the inside. is not fun. And there you have it. You actually start peeling it up. The inner structure doesn't actually look too terribly bad. Quite a bit of rust to be expected, but not terrible. A lot of good metal left in there. Just needs to be cleaned up, sealed up. Water just sat in there over the years, time in and time out. Well, here we are today. We're finishing some of the A-pillar work that we've done to the Turbo Regal here. As you can see, we've got the new A-pillar in spot. It's been welded in, and it's ready to go on the side. The whole top, there's going to be a new lower header panel be made soon. Over here on this side, this is what it looks like when you tear it out. And you brace the car to make sure it stays structurally right. Well, today we're peeling off the rear skin because we've got a new one that's a prototype as well that we're going to test out on this Grand National. Probably not see it, but all new front, all finished. I did this just to get this out of our way, so I can take the rear window out and put the new roof on. So stay tuned. Should have it done here in a bit. Well, here you have it. I've just test fitted the roof skin for the T-top. First preliminary test fit, just set it down on there. Haven't tacked anything up yet, and haven't spot welded anything in and or ground anything down as in the old spot welds I dug out. So just to take you a real quick peek here, take you over. No longer do we have to worry about T-top anything. As for A-pillars, done. Lower header panel will be done. Upper header panel, which is this piece up on top, is all finished and done. The roof is, the skin has been test fitted and done. And so has the trunk lid, which that's done as well. what you don't see over here, which I thought I'd bring, this here is a reproduction turbo hood. Over here is the original. Spot on. Original, reproduction, which will be on this car here very shortly, as soon as I get all this roof and everything done. I'll also be skinning the doors, because there's you can also buy aftermarket door skins as well as complete door shells. So next step we'll be talking will be after I probably get the roof all welded in, and then I'll start spraying. What we have here is these are aftermarket door skins that we just came out with, that I went through and redone this entire door and reworked the regulators, put new door latches in, which are available aftermarket. Now we bring the skin on. Which on this line of cars is rather easy. You get the door frame around the window to deal with. And there you have it. You seam zipping it on, putting it together. Well, I did a door skinning project on another door over here, and it turned out well. But it ended up being that the next door that I had this issue all along the bottom, where, you know, it looks like Swiss cheese. Most of these cars had this issue, which is one of the main reasons we make the doors. So, in order to compliment the guy that wants to keep his original door frame, because he's got stickers on the inside for the VIN number and all the codes and tire pressures and etc., I'm going to make and have one of my manufacturers actually make this piece right here, which is cut off one of the existing doors. This here is the aftermarket inner door shell, which is supplied by the manufacturer, which will allow me to put this right such. I'm going to clamp this thing down and I'm going to cut it right along the side right here. Now I'm going to do this 2 or 3 times for a couple reasons. For one, I want to get my car done. And 2, after I make these cuts, I'm going to send these pieces over to the manufacturer. That way that they can make more patch panels for the guys that want to keep their original door frames and maybe do a reskin like what I've done earlier. So I'm going to make this cut. The next picture that you'll be seeing is me maybe doing some welds and or having this inner door frame finished onto my door structure over here, and then getting ready to put the skin on the other side.